Alright guys, 2011 Hyundai Sonata. This car has a clunking noise in the steering. As you can hear that. When you're driving, you're holding the steering wheel straight, every time the car hits bump, it still makes that noise, but faster. That's the motor inside which moves. And there's something called the coupler. This is like a little piece between the motor for the power steering motor and the mechanism. When this thing breaks or wears out, it's metal to metal. That's the piece that's making the noise. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tear everything apart. We're gonna drop this steering column down, all right? And we're gonna get to the electric motor. We're gonna take out the motor and we're gonna put in this piece. The part number on this is 926990. This is made by Doorman. The dealer wouldn't sell me this, and I found this online. It wasn't too expensive. All right guys, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take all these panels off. All right, we're gonna show you step by step, and this is not a hard job. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna need a flathead screwdriver. We're gonna pop this cover open here. This is just a lot of clips. After that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this. There's a Phillips head screwdriver right here, and one on the other end. This should come off, and then you got a whole bunch of connectors for this. But before that, let's do this because we got the car running. What we're gonna do is we're gonna remove. Can't hear. We're gonna remove this one right here. You could use a Phillips head screwdriver or number 8 on that. One thing I want to mention is, since we're dealing with the steering column, if you see any yellow connectors, be careful because they're for the airbag. And then we got one on the opposite end. Once we have these two, we can turn the car off. The reason why you want the car on is because you had to turn the steering wheel a little bit. All right, let's set this out. Make sure you put these somewhere safe so you don't lose them. All right, so we have that. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna put this steering straight and we're gonna leave it there. What we'll do next is we'll lift this cover out. We're gonna lift this cover out right here. All right, so we're gonna go back to that cover later. Let's take off this panel here. And there's two more. And then there's one on the other end. Once you have that out, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pry this off. This little clip right here, and this one down here. So what you do is you put your screwdriver in there and you just pull it out a little bit. Screwdriver right here. So let it clip like that. That's holding this panel in, and then this thing should just come right out. Careful with the wires. What you can do is you can pull out all these connectors if you want at this moment, so it gives you more free play. Take off the OBD2 connector also. Alright, so you can take off the OBD2 connector next, and this cover comes out. And you put this to the side because we're gonna need all the space we can over here. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the number 10s here, and then number 10s over here, and one over there in the other end. So we'll take our drill, bang, zoom, fast. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Put the screws to the side, same screw, same spot. Alright, we got that out of the way. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off this number. There's another screw down here. Let me show you with the light. It's right under the steering column. Keep that somewhere safe. You're gonna put that same screw, same spot. Alright, now we can pop this cover down and pop the top cover up. So this bottom piece comes right out, and then we're gonna lift the top piece up. Just put that to the side because when the steering column comes down, it's gonna bother us. All right, now I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna show you guys what we need to take out next. All right, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna remove all these wirings, all this harness on the side here. There's a whole bunch of connectors, so make sure you remove everything, even this yellow one. All right, don't be afraid, you know, even though I mentioned it belongs to the airbag. And but take it easy, you know, you should know what you're doing. Also, this harness here, which goes across here, it comes over here. We're gonna remove this. Simple, just push and pull. This one comes right out. All right, so we're gonna remove all these connectors, and we're gonna get this harness out of the way. So also these little clips, we're gonna get these clips out of the way, and this harness is gonna go to the side. And then we're also gonna remove this little thing right here. It has that number 8 right here, or you could use a fill-up head here, because this is gonna hit this. So we have this out of the way. All right, so we're gonna come right back once we got all this disconnected. All right guys, so far what we did was we removed the harness that was going across here. We disconnected all the cables from here, so there's no cables here that's gonna be pulled or yanked as this comes down. All right, you see this harness, we have the harness loose over here. We moved it to one side, we got all these cables out of the way. We got this harness from here all the way over here, we stuck it in here. All right, so next what we're gonna do is we're gonna need number 12. All right, can you give me number 12? Yeah, number 12 is these steering column bolts. This is what's holding the steering column up. 1, 2, and there's 2 on the opposite side. 1, 2. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off, we're gonna loosen this one, but we're gonna put this one back. All right, loose. The reason is because we don't want that column dropping on us, so at least one bolt is gonna hold it for us. All right, I'm gonna get my impact gun set up, my drill. What I'll do next is it's hard to hold the light. I'm gonna loosen this one up, and like I said, I'm gonna leave it in there. Right, I'm gonna remove this. It's a long bolt, put it to the side. This one on this side, long bolt. You can see the column's already moving up a little bit. Can you hold the column up for me? Make sure you get help on this one. All right, so we got them all loose. I'm gonna take off the last one, and he's gonna hold this column up for me. All right, and then we're gonna bring this down together slowly. So right now this is loose. I even took that one out, right? So slowly, let's come down. Let's not yank any wires. If there's any wires that are being yanked, we're gonna put this back up and make sure there's no other wires being yanked out. All right, come down slowly. There's a hook in the back that's probably gonna hold it for us. That's the hook all the way down there, you can see. It's hard to see, but there's a hook back there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come forward a little bit with this. There you go.
So it's on top of the thing.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna put the camera away. We're gonna bring this down and we'll come right back. All right, guys. So we got this thing out. Here's the motor. The little rubber coupler is inside this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove 1, 2 these little black looking torque sets here. This one right here, and there's one over there, and there's one in the back. All right, we're not gonna take out these little shiny ones. We're gonna take out the black bolts. All right, there are torque set, so you gotta get the proper torque set, put extension up to here and turn it out of there like that. All right, so 1, 2 and 1 in the back. That's what we're gonna do. One thing I want to mention, in the back of this there's a connector that came out from this module here. Make sure you put that back. There's a little clip that I pulled out from this one. This is a clip that goes into this, and this is the safety little thing that goes in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove those 3. All right, try to get the one in the back first, because these will hold it for you later. Might be on the opposite end. Usually we try to do the harder one first, because the other 2 will hold it for you, hold the motor in place. And when you put it back, put the easy one in first, because it's gonna hold it, and let you line the third, the harder one later at the end. You got that loose. You can probably take it off by hand now. If you have this clunking noise, this is what you're gonna do, and this is the motor you're gonna get to. It's about a 2-hour job. Make sure whatever the screws you take off, you keep them somewhere safe. Once you get them loose, you can take them off by hand. And we're 1 screw away till we have this out. You lift up your hand a little bit so you can see. Alright, this is the last screw that's coming out now. And now slowly what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift this motor out. You got the connector in it, so you don't want to yank it out of there. There you go. Let me show you guys what's in there. It's shredded into pieces. This is a common problem, all right? That rubber coupler is not even there any longer. And here's the motor. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean this, and we're gonna put that coupler back in.
What's up?
No. All right, let me show you guys one thing. Leave it hanging there, don't worry about it.
You gotta fail.
Just let it sit
You
there.
gotta pull the wire.
All right, let me pull out this little piece. Can you take out this piece for me? This is the coupler. There's like a little piece in the center which is left of it. We're gonna pry it with a screwdriver. Alright, so this is the only thing that's left behind of it. There it is.
Let me back in.
Alright, so we're gonna clean that up real good, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna install the new coupler in there. Alright guys, before we put the new coupler in there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean that. We're gonna suck it with the vacuum a little bit. We'll brush it down a little bit, and we're gonna make sure it's all nice and clean. Go ahead. We'll use a little brush there to move the little particles. We'll do the same thing on the motor end, and we'll put the coupler in. Only thing I'm going to tell you guys, you cannot blow air in this one. A lot of people there blow air in it because all that stuff goes everywhere into the compartment of the car. It makes a big mess. You can use it, but it's up to you. Another thing I want to say is do not spin this motor. Sometimes you can mess up the angle. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to clean up this end also. We're going to clean this up a little bit more. And that one looks pretty clean, this one right here. Alright, and we'll come right back and we'll install the coupler. Alright guys, so this is clean and the other end is clean. What we're going to do is we're going to take this little rubber coupler and we're going to put that in. So what you do is you take that piece and you stick it right in the center of that. How this works is it has teeth that are open now just for this to go in the motor end. Alright, so all you do is you stick this in.
It's flush.
And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this motor, we're gonna put this on the top. Make sure you grab the teeth right in the center. Alright, just like that. Should be flush. There you go. Now we're gonna take our screws, torque screws. We're gonna install these and we're gonna lock down that motor. Try to get the easy ones first and then the harder one at the end. Make sure you get all three and make sure they're nice and tight. Do not leave them loose. Alright, so he's trying to get the one in the back as much as he can before he puts the torque set on it. So make sure you get all three evenly now. Don't just tighten one all the way down and the other one's still loose. Alright, now we're ready to tighten this. Nice and tight. Do all three and then double check just to make sure. Double check now. Alright, he's gonna double check, and then we're gonna come back. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put this column back up, okay, slowly. You don't need to see that. I'm sure you can put it back up just the way you bring it down. We're not gonna be able to put the camera in there. Alright guys, we got the column in place. Alright, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the 4 screws in here. Once you have one in, that should just help you hold it up. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this screw here and I'm gonna lock that in. And then we got these long ones that go back here. Alright, you might have to wiggle it around a little bit. Can you move it around for me a little bit? Huh? Wiggle it around because I can't line that bolt. Alright, make sure you get all 4 bolts in there. Catch the threads by hand first. Alright, once you have that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna tighten these nice and tight.
Close.
Can you guide it for me there?
Yeah. Huh? You should wait.
Got it. We got this steering in place. Now we're gonna put in all the connectors and make sure everything is plugged in. Double check everything, and then we'll come back and we'll show you what it sounds like. All right guys, we have everything together. Right, we made sure all the connectors are back together. We put all the covers back together, the panel, everything, the screws. All right, so the steering is locked in. Let me just get in the car now. This is where we find out if everything is good. All right, no noise. All right, this is perfect. No lights in the dashboard, no check engine, no other lights. The steering is nice and smooth, no clunk anymore. We're good. One thing I want you to do is go in the back, check your brake lights. A lot of time the brake sensor, that's when the brake pedal gets knocked out. If that's the case, if you have the lights on in the back, you knocked out the sensor, brake sensor, right? So this is how you fix the clunking noise on a 2011 Hyundai Sonata. If you have other models, 12, 13, 14, same thing, same part number. You can find this thing on eBay, and that's where I got this from. The dealer didn't want to sell it to me, they wanted to sell me the motor. All right, so the job is done. No more noise.